Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. I'm sure many of you play fantasy football, fantasy baseball, fantasy F1, whatever, or if not, you're at least familiar with the concept. You're given a finite amount of money and have to assemble the best team possible within that given budget. Today, we're going to play fantasy watch collections. Now, I made a video about this one maybe 18 months ago. Best budget 3-piece watch collections. I thought today I would expand it literally a little bit, go up to 5-piece watch collections. I think for 5 pieces you can pretty much cover all bases and you can do it without spending a fortune. The channel motto after all is you don't have to spend a fortune if you don't want to get a great selection of watches in your box. Or something like that. I need to get another t-shirt made up. I'm going to show you two, not one, but two collections at $250 just to prove that it can be done. A 5-piece combo and an all bases covered $1,000 watch collection. Now, if $1,000 sounds like a lot of money, it's because it is a lot of money, but do bear in mind, you don't have to spend it all in one go. You can build up a collection like this over the course of months or even years, and I'm sure many of you will already have some of these watches in your collection. Now, I'm going to talk in US dollars today. I'm only going to talk about new watches as well. Vintage, used, you can do that if you want, but I'm not going to do that today. I'll leave links to everything I show in the order that I show them in the description of the video. What watches are we going to try and assemble? Well, roughly speaking, a daily, a dive watch, a beater watch, a chrono if possible, and a bonus watch. Like I said, those 5 in combo should pretty much cover everything. I'm going to keep it fairly mainstream today, all kind of channel favourite stuff that I've had hands-on reviewing experience with, and I'm going to stick to big brands today as well. Plenty of value to be had in the wonderful world of micro brands, but I can't recommend them to you if they're not always on sale, so I've stuck with big brand stuff that you can buy all day, every day. Alright, let's kick off with a pair of $250 collections. The first is the AliExpress Chinese Special Collection. The second is a one-brand collection featuring one of my favourite brands, that being Casio. So let's start with the AliExpress Chinese Special Collection then. Not going to shock you how much value you get when you buy China Direct. I've been telling you that for about 5 years now. But once you see all 5 watches in combination, yeah, it's pretty great, the specs that they offer. And I'm going to start with an old channel favourite as the daily. It's the Cadisen C1032. You can still pick these up, including a free leather strap, for around $55 US once you add a couple of vouchers. All of these stores always have vouchers, and this is a gorgeous, gorgeous looking little watch. Applied indices, Dauphine hands, either silver or black sunburst dial, day date display at the 3 o'clock there because this features a Seiko NH36 movement, sapphire crystal, all stainless steel construction, push-pull crown, 50 meters of water resistance, a great looking watch, and it's a classic 40-20, so if you don't like the bracelet, you can always swap it out for a leather strap. Really, my only problem with this one is that it is super shiny. The bracelet's shiny, the whole case is shiny, everything is very, very shiny, but like I said, a leather strap solves that problem. An absolute must, a really classy little piece for the office, the Cadisen C1032. Next up is your dive watch, and it doesn't get much better value for money than the Steeldive 1970. This is a homage, I have to admit. It's a homage of a Seiko 6105-8110 from the early 1970s, but that's not a bad thing, is it? It's a fully spec'd automatic dive watch, again with a Seiko movement, sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel insert, screw down crown, 200 meters of water resistance, and a stainless steel bracelet for less than $90. It is a no-brainer, this one. Don't be worried about the size, it's a 44mm, but because it's got that cushion case, it wears really well on pretty much any wrist you like. Definitely one of the best value watches on the market. At number 3, it's the Chronograph, and one of my favourite Paganis, the Pagani PaganOak. Definitely Royal Oak vibes with this one, but then again, that's no bad thing. You can pick these up for less than $80 US. And again, I think it is a handsome, well-made watch. watch. This one features a Seiko VK63 Mecha Quartz movement, meaning one battery, and it's going to tick reliably and accurately for a couple of years. Always nice to have a few quartz pieces in a 5-watch collection, I think, and I've carried on that mantra throughout all of the different combinations on show today. Great bracelet here, check that wrist roll, it really is very nicely done for the money you're paying for it. Watch number 4 is the bonus here today. You get an outright dress watch. It's another Pagani. I'm calling this one the Mocktail Time. Another 40-20, so it's going to wear well on small wrists and big wrists. Again, Seiko movement. This features a Seiko VH31. Now this is actually quartz, but it looks like an auto. It ticks 4 times per second, and it does have that Seiko cocktail time multifaceted dial. Looks far, far more expensive than the very modest $34 price tag suggests. This also gives you a watch with a leather band right out the box, and the leather band is surprisingly usable. Alright, 5th and final watch in the AliExpress $250 combo is the North Edge Mars. I bought a couple of watches from North Edge and I found the quality to be remarkably good for the money. This one looks fantastic, either in black, in red or in yellow. I've actually got a red one on order. You can expect to see a full review of that soon. And check these specifications. It's got an alarm, it's got 50 meters of water resistance, it counts calories, and it's a pedometer. Full automatic calendar, it's shockproof, it's lightweight, countdown mode, timer, and a 1-year battery. Plus it has a decent electroluminescent backlight that knows whether it's in full sun or darkness apparently. But undoubtedly this watch's best feature is that you can take it underwater skateboarding. I can't wait to do that when mine arrives. So this then is what your AliExpress $250 collection looks like. Couple of homages I admit, but still a bit of originality here with the Cadisen and the Pagani Mocktail Time. Nothing quite looks like that North Edge either. All for less than $270. I'm going to give myself a 10% margin of error here, assuming that you can nail down slightly sharper prices. 4 of those watches feature Seiko movements, 3 of them feature sapphire crystal. Again, the specs available for the price from AliExpress are frankly ridiculous. Alright, next up it is the $250 one brand collection featuring, of course, Casio, one of my all-time favourite brands. I've often said if you've got a super tight budget, Casio should be the brand at the very, very top of your list. And you can still assemble a really nice complete collection, even sticking with just one brand. I'm going to start with the classic budget dive watch. It is, of course, the Casio Duro. These are all over eBay in either the slightly older MDV 106 or the slightly newer MDV 107 form with the bi-coloured bezels. Yours for around $56 delivered. And I think the Casio Duro is a great looking watch. Such a clean looking watch. A really handsome clean design. The black and white, the black and silver, nice contrast, great legibility from this one as well. Although like I said, they have added some new multicolored bezel combos. They haven't changed the fundamentals of this one. Quartz movement, screw down crown, 200 meters of water resistance, genuine dive watch capabilities here. Very good bezel action as well, and lo and behold, check the ones in the video, the second hand hits every single marker on every single Duro that I've ever looked at. It does wear large though. It's a 44mm with a decent sized lug to lug, and the strap isn't fantastic, but then again it's 22mm lug width. I'm sure you can swap it out for one that you have lying around. Next up it is your designated beta, and this is the first of 2 times that this particular watch features in today's video. It is of course the quintessential G-Shock, the Casio DW5600E. This one can trace its origins all the way back to the early 1980s, and it's one of the few things that was designed in the 1980s that still actually looks good. Yours all day long for $48. Remarkable that given the inflation we've experienced over the last couple of years, you can still pick one of these up for less than $50. Now they're light on wrist, 200 meters of water resistance, rough and ready, electroluminescent backlight. You can launch them off atop of buildings, and they just don't care. That's what they're designed for. Countdown timer, stopwatch, alarm, all the usual goodies you get with a digital watch. And of course, because it's a G-Shock, you get 2 brands in one. You get a Casio on your wrist, but you also get a G-Shock on your wrist. Again, all for less than $50. But neither of those 2 watches makes 100% sense to wear as a daily. The third watch therefore is your daily, and I've given you $100, a generous $100 budget to find yourself a Casio Aquaterra, either the EFV100, which is the older model, or the brand new EFV140. When I reviewed the EFV100, I described it as the $75 Casio Aquaterra, and you can still pick them up for less than that. Here I found a blue one for under $70 US. Again, it's a 40-20, so it's going to suit the wide variety of wrists, and it's a really handsome looking watch, this one. They're available in blue, in black, and I really like this white version. It adds a certain crispness to the watch, which I think makes it look far more expensive than it actually is. But what of this new EFV140? I've got some of these on the way in from Casio Australia, so you can expect a review sometime soon. They've expanded the range in terms of colours, and they've made them look even more like the Omega Aquaterra. Check this gorgeous looking one in black and gilt on a leather strap, so if you prefer leather, you don't have to opt for the bracelet. The green one also looks gorgeous. This is the official Australia website, 159 Aussie dollars. You'll be able to pick this one up when it launches for less than 100, no problems at all. And if you really want a chrono, slightly bigger at 42mm, you can find one of these for well under a ton also. Next up, filling the chronograph slot in the collection, but offering far more than that, it's the Casio AE1200, aka the Casio Royale, which is a world timer. Remarkable amount of watch for less than $25. That's your target price for one of these. 100 meters of water resistance, 10-year battery, world time with a whole bunch of cities. Rather quirky looking graphical display. It's not going to be to everyone's taste, but honestly these things wear very nicely indeed once you get them on wrist. Can't quite stretch to the metal one here today unless you really look around for it. There's a variety of different colours. I like the resin one in black. Either way, this is a genuine budget icon, the Casio Royale. And last but not least, it's your bonus watch. It's a Casio calculator watch. Now you can either have the DB-C32 or the CA53 depending on your preference. Neither of them are going to cost you more than $25. In fact, you'll probably save $5 off that price if you shop around on eBay or Amazon. I'll leave links to both in the description of the video. So much retro fun, these little Casio calculator watches. DB-C32 if you have bigger wrists, CA53 if you have smaller wrists, or don't mind a slightly smaller watch. So this is what your one brand Casio collection looks like, and I think it looks fantastic for just over $250. I'm giving myself a 10% margin of error in all of these today. Classic dive watch, fantastic beater, handsome daily, world timer, and a cheeky bonus on the end. Good job. Okay, moving on, we are doubling our budget here to $500 US, though there are many watch channels that don't think you can buy one watch for $500, let alone a collection of 5. Let's prove them wrong, shall we? Starting with the daily, and what a daily this is too. It's the Seiko DressKX, their SRPE range. I'm giving you $175 US to find yourself one of these. Here's a blue model on eBay for less than that. I paid less than that for my two-tone gold and stainless steel combo version myself when I bought it last year. And this watch is so much more than just a Seiko dive watch with the bezel removed. It is a gorgeous case. Again, 40-20, great proportions on this. It's a really comfortable watch to wear on wrist as well. Seiko 4R36 movement, 100 meters of water resistance from a push-pull crown. The bracelet is okay, not technically magnificent, but it is quite comfortable, and you only get Hardlex mineral crystal, but you get fantastic lume because it's Lumibright, and you get that Seiko big brand name on the dial. Bunch of colours, shop around, find one that suits you. The DressKX should not be overlooked. Watch number 2 is your beater, and it should be familiar because it's the same beater as the Casio Collection. It's the DW5600 G-Shock, coming in for $48. Stellar watch. Really, there's an argument that this should be the designated beater for every single watch collection, no matter what it contains. At number 3, it's your dive watch, and another all-time channel favourite. It's the Orient Kamasu. $199 gets you the blue one on Joma Shop. Slightly more expensive if you want some of the interesting colorways. They've just launched new versions of this with Fotina on the dial and hands. The lume on these newer ones isn't as good as the lume on the older ones without the Fotina, so do bear that in mind. It's a good looking watch, the Kamasu, one that certainly I have grown to appreciate over the last 2 years since it's been on the market. Sapphire crystal is a massive bonus from a big Japanese brand. fully spec dive watch at $200 or thereabouts. It really is. Again, the bracelet is a little bit rattly, but it wears well. It's a 42mm, but nice and slim. Again, wide variety of wrists, will have no problem with the Kamasu. Now, having spent $175 on the DressKX and $199 on the Kamasu, plus $50 on the G-Shock, doesn't leave much budget for the chrono and the bonus, but I've managed to find two that I think are of interest. The Chronograph, the Timex Weekender. You can pick up these little watches on Amazon for around $50 US. Now they are 40/20s again. They call it the Weekender, but as long as your weekend doesn't involve water, because it's only got 30 meters of water resistance, but it does have that fantastic Indiglo backlight, and being on a NATO strap, it brings an entirely different look to this collection. And your bonus watch in this collection, coming in at $63, is a Casio Databank. Not just any Casio Databank though, a Casio Databank in gold. I bought one of these a couple of years ago, but I never managed to get around to reviewing it because my sister spotted it, nabbed it, and she wears it today. So for under $550 US, a 5-piece collection here featuring Casio, Seiko, Orient and Timex, all well-known, well-respected household name watch brands. It can be done, ladies and gentlemen. You can get a fantastic collection for not a lot of cash. But let's go one stage further. Let's double the money again, taking it all the way to $1,000 US. This collection of 5 watches really does cover all bases for that money, and it covers all bases with some watches that get a lot of respect within the community, even from people who spend much more money than this on a single piece. Let's start with the daily. It's the watch on my wrist today. It's hot right now. It's the Tissot PRX Quartz. Now that the autos are out, now that they have announced a smaller 35mm version and a larger 42mm chrono version, the price of the original Quartz is dropping all the time. You can pick these up on eBay now for under $300. I bought mine from an AD in Australia for the equivalent money only last month. Yes, it's Quartz, but Quartz makes so much sense as a daily, particularly as part of a collection. It's always going to be ticking and it's always at the right time, and I think the Quartz ones have better dials than the autos. These integrated bracelet watches are right on trend at the moment, and no wonder. Look at that wrist roll. This is a watch that looks fantastic in natural light, looks fantastic in sunshine, really playful when combined with that sunburst dial as well. The PRX is a good weight, but not too much. You can wear it nice and loose on wrist. Nice and slim as well, particularly with that little quartz module in the back of it. And I think a very handsome design. These have been out for 15 months now. The hype around them continues to build. You can get a well-known, well-respected Swiss watch on your wrist for less than $300. That should be the basis of any $1,000 collection, I think. If the Tissot PRX has been the hottest budget watch over the last 18 months, the next watch in the $1,000 collection, the designated beta, was the hottest watch over the previous 18 months. None other than the Casio GA2100, aka the CasiOak. You can pick these up all day long, even the old stealth ones that used to be very hard to find and trade at a premium for $99 or less on eBay. It's the slimmest watch that G-Shock have ever made. Don't be intimidated by the 45mm diameter dimension because of that slimness, and because the integrated resin band means it wears very well. Fully featured with stopwatch, electroluminescent backlight, ani-digi display, etc, etc. And that's it on my 7-inch wrist. I have no problem wearing this one at all. And the CasiOak hype train shows no sign of slowing down at the station. There are a number of new models in the pipeline that I think you'll be interested in. Stay tuned for further details. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Okay, number 3, the Chronograph. I'm sure many of you guessed that this watch would feature in here somewhere. It's the Seagull 1963, one of my all-time favourite watches. These are still readily available all over AliExpress for around $155 an absolute bargain nugget of a watch at that price. Look at this thing, it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, as you can see, 2 different sizes here. The watch on the left is a 40mm, the watch on the right is the more historically accurate 38. There's also a 42, so there's no excuse now. If 38s are too small for you, you should be looking at the 40. It is the same price. And look at that movement. That is a Seagull ST1901 based on an old Venus movement from the 1940s. It is the only mechanical chronograph you can pick up for less than $200. There simply are no others out there. And it's a gorgeous looking watch, champagne dial, applied indices, red and blue hands and just enough Chinese script there to make it look a little bit exotic. It's a historical piece as well, having a reference to the Chinese Army Air Division back in 1963, oddly enough. The fact that you can still pick one up for well under $200 today is fantastic. But Jody, where is the diver? Do not fret. Here is the diver, and it's the big money piece coming in at $478. It's the Orient Star Diver. I was so impressed with this one when I reviewed it late last year. You can still buy them on eBay for less than $500. You can save a little bit more if you buy it from Joma on a rubber strap. I'd go for the bracelet because it comes with a rubber strap in the box. This is without a doubt the most solid big brand diver that I have reviewed for less than $500, and I think it looks fantastic. Great movement, power reserve on the dial, 50-hour power reserve, in-house Orient movement as well. The loom on this watch is amazing. It won its episode of Loom Wars, and overall the construction is fantastic. Now it is a fairly sizable watch in terms of its dimensions and also in terms of its weight. It's right up there at about 175 grams. Here it is on my 7¼ inch right wrist. I think it wears a little better on a slightly larger wrist, so again, do bear that in mind. But if you've got the wrist for it, if you don't mind a slightly larger watch, Orient Star Diver is an absolute star. And finally, it's the bonus watch. We've just about done with the budget, but there's enough money left to squeeze in an Armitron Griffy. Yours for only $60. Just look at these things. It's an old school retro 70s style LED watch for not a lot of cash. The only reason I haven't bought one of these so far is that they are not available for sale in Australia. Otherwise, I would have snapped one up. Check out all those ridiculous looking colour schemes. They are fantastic. It's a Saturday night watch. Slap it on your wrist, go out to the pub. If you make it home but the watch doesn't, not too many tears will be shed because you didn't break the bank to buy it. But I think it rounds out this 5-piece combo $1,000 collection perfectly. Alright, let's summarise the $1,000 collection then. Well, in actual fact, it's a $1,076 collection. I am stretching the friendship here, but just look at what you get for that price. You get a super hot Tissot Swiss-made PRX. You get the still super hot CasiOak. You get the most solidly made $500 diver that I have ever encountered from a big Japanese brand. You get the single most respected Chinese watch there has ever been and quite possibly ever will be. And you get that Armitron Griffy as a bonus. You could of course buy one watch for $1,000, but I think buying 5 is a lot more fun. So there you have it. I hope you had fun playing fantasy watch collections today. Just proving once more that you don't have to spend a fortune to have a great time in this hobby. There are some fantastic watches out there if you look closely enough to find them. I'm sure many of you will have some of those in your collections already. What did you think to my collection ideas? So many specs available from the AliExpress collection. Unsurprisingly, Casio, really the only brand if you're going to do a one brand collection that I would be going for at that $250 price point. For $500, Orient Kamasu, DressKX, stellar entries there with that classic Casio beater, and for $1,000, PRX, Seagull 1963, that Orient Star Diver, some rock solid choices there. But what would be your choices? Please leave me comments, leave me suggestions. Maybe I'll do a version 2 of this video in due course. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really do appreciate it. If you want to watch more fantasy watch collections, why not check out the 3-watch one that I did a couple of years ago, or why not have a look at that big Orient diver? It really is a belter. Thanks for watching again. See you.